You are listening to the TWT Podcast Network.
You didn't scream, boom shakalaka. You didn't howl at the moon.
Paul, say something stupid.
Bologna, fudge, and mustard. My life is being ruined by the internet.
I'm here to stay. Make a good lucha thing.
Where's my fucking champ?
This will be the moment, starting now, of the genesis of McGillicuddy.
We're going to the top of the totem pole.
This is the Wrestling Botchcast with your hosts, Scotty the Brain and Sean Bradshaw Layfield.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Wrestling Botchcast. I am Scotty the Brain. I am joined with SBL.
Yeah.
And we have a special guest that's joining us for our Money in the Bank prediction show. He is entering the fray. It is Stunning Stevie. How's it going, man?
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
Anytime. We need some fresh blood in these prediction shows. I've gotten my ass beat twice already. So hopefully you fare better against SBL than I did.
Yeah, man. The most specialist guest.
So if you guys haven't been on one of our prediction shows or heard one of our prediction shows before, we basically battle it out for our Botchampionship and for the title of Botchampion on the Wrestling Botchcast. So
and of course I win.
Yeah, whatever. We're going to find out this Sunday if you win. I know you've won the last two. You took Backlash and also, I think, with the Greatest Royal Rumble. Were those the two?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay. So now we're going to get to a real pay-per-view.
I was about to say, at least this one's going to be pretty good, or at least that's what I'm anticipating.
We're hoping this one's good. Those past two were just absolute trash. So, all right. Well, let's go ahead and get into it. Basically, we're going to go through each match. We're each going to make our prediction on the match. And as we go along, we typically will add in some additional stipulations in a lot of cases. So if we feel like we need to add, if this match is going to be a DQ, if it's going to be a count out, that you can earn yourself extra points for that.
You know what I just realized?
What's that?
You announced Stevie last, and I'm the champion, so I should get the champion's entrance.
Sorry, so I should have announced you last?
Absolutely, and I should get my own music.
I'll get right on that for you.
Thank you. I know what song I want, so.
Oh,
I'm sorry about that, man. I didn't know.
It's okay. I'm just saying I deserve better.
I just wanted to put over our guest. I talk to you every day. I can
appreciate that.
Yeah,
I can appreciate that, but let's face it, who's the champ here? And I'm gonna need you to find. I'm gonna need you to get the Norma Jean album Redeemer and just cue up that first song, so that when you announce me, I get this big metalcore intro.
I'm not gonna do any of that because we
Come on.
We don't have the rights for that. You call up Norma Jean and you see how they feel about it.
I'm calling them right now.
Fine, do it. See if I care. And we're gonna get to the first match while you're fiddling around.
Mm-hmm.
All right, good. All right, so first we got, and this probably won't be the first match, but Daniel Bryan versus Big Ass.
Mm-hmm.
This is going to be a real barn burner. As we all know, Daniel Bryan already tapped his ass once at Backlash. So we'll let SBL go last on this one. We'll kind of we'll switch it up on E. So Stevie, what do you got on this one?
So for this one, I'm going to have to pull with Daniel Bryan because Big Cass is not really going over with the crowd right now. He's definitely a heel. And, with Daniel Bryan, recently coming back from injury and everything, I think that he deserves a win on a good pay-per-view.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you. At the same time, it makes me wonder if they might want to give Cass a win on this and then have a rubber match that leads elsewhere. But the bigger part of me wants this whole stupid Big Cass thing to end and Daniel Bryan just to beat his ass finally and just bury him so we don't have to see it again. So I am going to agree. I'm going to go with Daniel Bryan on this as well. All right, champ, What do you got in this match?
See, champ, is that so hard? Is that so hard to say?
It is. It makes me throw up in my mouth a little bit every time I say it. So,
well, you know who is definitely going to lose in this match? The people watching, because this is going to be a fucking atrocity. And Big Cass is a lumbering, somewhat. I mean, I want to call him green, but let's face it, he was in NXT for like 15 years, so he should technically know how to wrestle at this point. But definitely taking Daniel Bryan, but I'm taking myself as the loser.
I'll be surprised if it lasts longer than 10 minutes, to be honest with you.
Oh, for sure.
And I feel like with the writing staff right now, they are still trying to find a place to put him. And the only reason he's in this match with Daniel Bryan is because they're trying to share the star power of Bryan with Big Cass so that he can get to the top. Because I really feel like they want to make Cass a top player in the WWE. Yeah. But it's not going to happen this week. Probably not this month. Maybe SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Look, if you want to build a monster heel, you've got to do what you did with Braun Strowman, right? I mean, you've got to put a bunch of jabronis in, have them completely crush and embarrass them, then throw Sami Zayn in there, have him crush and embarrass him, all the tiny baby faces, and have them just shred them one by one, and then cut, monster heel promos, right? I mean, that's how you do it. It's not, hey, let's throw this guy in with our hot baby face de facto, right? Who we haven't seen in 2 years, and we've all been basically waiting for. I mean, this is horrible booking either way.
Yeah. And you know what? That's another thing too, is I'm not really impressed with his mic skills. I think they need to give him less talking and more action.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, he's one of those guys that and we were talking kind of before we got started. He's one of those guys that benefited from having Enzo by his side because he can't speak well. He's just not believable on the mic whatsoever. He's no Drew McIntyre, let's say that. If you want to compare two guys that are bigger dudes that you could possibly see as big guys that just kind of run the table, Drew Mac is doing it upright, since he's come back. He's great on the mic. He's great in the ring. I'm scared shitless of him. I wouldn't mess with him. Big Cass, I feel like he's a dude I could just walk up and punch him in the face and he'd fall over and cry. So, all right, let's move on. We got
really nothing else to say there.
No, I hate Cass.
We all three agreed though, so then we're off to a good start
or a bad start. We'll see. Hopefully we're not wrong. I feel like just a last note on it. I feel like this is just Daniel Bryan in waiting for what happens at Money in the Bank. With the rest of the matches, because I know they're going to start pushing him a little bit as long as he signs a new contract, which his contract is up September 1st. So he signs a new contract, he'll be off to the races.
Fair enough.
All right, next we got Nia Jax versus Rowdy Ronda Rousey for the Raw Women's Championship. Let's start. I guess I'll start this one. Go for it. Man, this is a tough one to call. I don't think there's going to be a legit finish on this one because they don't want to put the belt on Ronda too early because it's not going to look good. And they don't want their champion, Nia, to, tap out.
Right.
And she hasn't had the belt long either. So I feel like this is going to be, Ronda's going to win, but I think there's going to be interference. So I think there's going to be a DQ that happens on this one. There's not going to be a legit finish. All right, SBL, I guess you can go next.
I'm taking Rousey also. I feel like the fact that they've immediately turned Nia Jax heel goes to show that they lost faith in her as a babyface.
Did they turn her heel, though? Because she was working kind of babyface-ish the past couple of weeks.
I would say that's even worse because that means that nobody knows what the hell to do with her.
She's just on the fence. So you think Rousey's going to win the belt?
I think so.
Wow, that's a bold prediction. I mean, I worry that if they put the belt on her too soon, that people are just going to get pissed because this is legit her first singles match.
Yeah.
Ever. So,
all right, Stevie. When is WWE even afraid to piss off their core audience? I mean.
No truer statement has been made. All right, Stevie, what do you got on this one?
All right, so I'm gonna say Ronda Rousey wins by DQ. Nia Jax isn't gonna let her win, and simply because I agree with what you said about Nia only having the belt for about 2 months now. I think I think it was Mania when she won it.
Yeah.
And it took her so long to finally get it. They're not gonna let her go on it yet. And Ronda, she's still too green to have that kind of responsibility, and she doesn't need it because she's Ronda Rousey right now. So I think it's Rousey wins by DQ, and the feud's going to keep going.
Yeah, I think you're right on that too. I guess the biggest thing for me is how Natalya is going to work into it, because I feel like she's going to play in somehow, but I'm not sure how yet.
She definitely will at some point. I don't know if they're going to pull the trigger just this week or if that's a story that's going to play out over the long term. But she's definitely going to. I feel like if Ronda loses a big match, it's going to be because of Natalya. So that could be here or it could be wherever.
All right, so just to clarify on this one,
We all have Rousey.
we all have Rousey. Stevie and I went with DQ, so we'll get an extra point if we're correct. Just
Yeah,
want to be clear.
I don't remember agreeing to that, but
Okay.
But
all
technically, we've still all three chosen the same winners so far.
right. True.
there you go.
All right, next one we got. Going to the other side, SmackDown Women's Championship. Carmella versus Asuka. SBL, you go first.
I think it's going to be a big old celebration.
Oh, God. Why?
Because I think that she's getting heat. It may not be the kind of heat she wants, but it is technically working because people hate it. And I feel like there are some tone deaf writers who think this is great. I really have no good reason. Also, are you going to just put the belt on us? Here's the thing that's puzzling. I mean, there are so many things that are puzzling about the booking in this company, but she loses to Charlotte, only to have Charlotte look like a bitch within the next week. And then Charlotte begins losing and losing and losing. So you ruin an undefeated streak. Then you have the person that took it be basically a mid-carder. And now what? Like, you're just going to give Asuka the belt again and pretend that didn't even happen? I don't think so.
Yeah, I mean, it's
and
a
when I
tough
say
one to
again,
call.
I'm including NXT because I realize she's never had a championship reign. But
No, she hasn't had one in WWE yet. Well, in this WWE, in the main card. But yeah, this is a tough one to call. I feel like that Asuka's going to get the win on this one. Just
you
because
think it's going to be a fuck finish?
Yeah, I don't think there's going to be a legit finish on this one. Because you look at tonight on SmackDown, and Asuka tapped Carmella in the middle of the ring, which, I mean, that doesn't look good for your champion. I don't know. I feel like it might be a precursor for some sort of Asuka win, but I don't feel like this feud is going to be over because I really don't see anybody else that's going to challenge Carmella yet. Oh gosh, I just thought of something else too. Depending on when the women's Money in the Bank match happens, there could be a cash in here.
Yeah, now I'm anticipating the way that they did it before. What was the last one? Survivor Series, right?
Yeah.
Or no, it was the Royal Rumble, actually.
Right.
They did one at the beginning and one at the end, so it may be the first match of the night.
It could be. Well, with the Women's Revolution thing, it could be the last.
Yeah, with the men at front.
Yeah.
I don't know. It might be a little too soon.
Yeah, I think so too. It makes me wonder if there's going to be some kind of cash in here, so that neither one
part
us
of
that.
the part of the reason I think Rousey's going to win is I think Natalya is going to cash in on her.
Possibly, that's very possible. Like that night.
Yeah.
All right, Stevie, who do you got on this match?
I'm going to go with Asuka, fair win, new champion, only because I haven't really been able to get behind Carmella ever since James Ellsworth left the company. And I know a lot of people don't really like him, but I really dug having him around and thought that they had a lot of chemistry, and it was a pretty big part of the women's part of the show.
He is rumored to return, so
Yeah,
he may
he
be
is.
be in a manager role.
That would be really awesome, and then maybe I could get back behind Carmella if he gets stuck with her again. But I'm gonna have to go with Asuka winning title, and then I'll have to get back to you later about the cash-in thing because I'm not sure yet.
Yeah, we'll get down there. We'll get down there. Yeah, I think honestly, if Ellsworth comes back, I think with all the fact over the past however many months since Carmella has had, well, I guess since from the last year that she's had the Money in the Bank briefcase until she cashed in, she never really acknowledged that he had a big part in that. And I think that if they bring him back, he may cost her the match.
Oh, that's interesting.
That's my thoughts. That's my thoughts. That's why I think Asuka might get the W here. All right, next one. This is going to be the real barn burner of the night. Roman Reigns versus Jinder Mahal.
Oh goodness!
Will the Jinder get hindered? All right.
Can I confess something here?
Yes,
Go ahead.
confess. You're in a safe space.
I actually like Roman Reigns and Jinder Mahal a whole bunch.
Both of them?
Yep, I like both of them.
Okay, explain yourself.
Well, honestly, I don't really have an excuse for Roman Reigns. I guess I like him because everyone else hates him, and that's kind of like his stick in the WWE right now. And that's what they really should be going for too. Is they should keep making him like annoying, and giving him like all those free passes to the title and everything.
They do. It's just not intentional.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that too.
Yeah. Well, that's what I'm saying though. Is they should totally make it blatantly
Intentional.
obvious
Yeah, right.
now, because that's the only thing you could do with him.
Oh yeah, he'd be the biggest heel in the
Except
company if
the
you would
only-
just steer into the skid.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, also you have to think about the only way you can get a crowd to cheer for him is to put him against Jinder Mahal, which is probably the only other person that the WWE universe dislikes more than Roman Reigns.
I see. I thought that too until Jinder cost him the Money in the Bank spot, and everyone was cheering Jinder that night.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh god, like Jinder is the biggest face in the company right now. And that was just for one night only. Since then, I mean, he hasn't gotten any cheers, but at least not that we can hear on television. They're piping in that crowd noise. But
Oh yeah, for sure. So, as far as a winner of this match, it's gonna have to be Roman Reigns.
all right,
And the reason is because he wins everything.
that's the best reason. I can't argue
Yeah,
with that.
exactly.
Tough to argue.
It really is. All right, I too am gonna go with Roman on this one. I mean, I honestly think they're gonna build him again for SummerSlam, and he's gonna face Brock Lesnar for the 19th time, and he's gonna win this time because honestly, I think Brock's contract. Everyone's saying his contract is up at the end of August, and it's looking like Roman's gonna be the guy to do it.
Well, Lesnar used to be my favorite wrestler, and past 5-6 years, it's really changed.
He's a smart businessman. I mean, he's doing it right. He's making the paycheck without having to do the dates. So, I mean, honestly, if you were in the same position, you'd probably do the same thing. Like, hey, I can wrestle, 4 times a year and still make a huge chunk of change.
Yeah,
So
that's true. But it's still not good for, everybody else, just for him.
No, it makes everybody else look bad. It makes that title worthless.
Mm-hmm.
All right, SBL, who you got on this one?
I actually also don't hate Jinder. I think he gets legit heel heat, and because he's unlikable, I just don't think he's going to win. So, definitely Roman, clean as a sheet, middle of the ring, because that's what Vince wants to see.
Yep.
SPL the champ agreeing with the newcomer.
Yeah, okay, what I'll say is Jinder's title run was a little boring. His matches are a little plodding, but I think there's a character there. If he becomes a ring technician in the way that I mean, like, you can move slow in the ring and still be good, right? Just use a bunch of holds, get the crowd booing you. So I think there's a way that he could be good. He just hasn't found the rhythm yet. I think when he finds it, it's going to be pretty cool.
Well, he's been around a while, hasn't he?
I mean, this is kind of his second go around. I feel like it's hard for me to hold 3MB against him because Drew McIntyre was also in that group. So, I would say
he has been around for a while.
Yeah, I would say that's more the company not knowing what to do with a lot of these guys than it is them actually sucking.
Yeah, that's true.
He was a tag team partner with Rusev for a while on the newest or most recent.
Right, in
to the
the
WWE.
last incarnation, yeah. He was eliminated in the Battle Royal also by Rob Gronkowski or Mojo Rawley. I can't remember who.
It was the assist by Gronkowski.
Okay, gotcha.
They do look similar though in your defense.
That's true.
Yeah, I can't even tell them apart. But,
and their personalities are about the same.
Also, to be fair, I haven't seen Mojo Rawley on TV in
Yeah, I was about to say, you guys remember when they pushed him for like 3 weeks?
That's because he was with the greatest superstar in the history of wrestling.
Zack Ryder?
Yep. One Mr. Zack Ryder. So
I kind of do like to be honest with you, I really do like Zack Ryder and I do like Mojo Rawley. But
yeah, I'm
he's
not
definitely
being
not
I'm not
top
being
guy.
sarcastic. Zack Ryder is legitimately my favorite wrestler.
Oh, well that's cool. You're the first one I've ever met to say that.
I'm sure I just remember back in the day when he was doing that YouTube show, and it was literally the funniest thing online, and they still didn't push him, and I feel like that was a missed opportunity. So I'm defending Zack Ryder's honor on this podcast.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. Got to stand up for the little guy.
He does it every week, man. Every week.
Pipe down there. Your champion is talking.
You're catching legit heel heat right now.
I
All
know,
right.
man.
Next match we got Bobby Lashley versus Sami Zayn, which might I say is the absolute most atrocious feud I think I may have ever seen. Every week I hate both of them more and more. And I used to love Sami, and I hate both of them so much right now for the dumb shit they're doing week after week.
Yeah, man, it's awful. Bobby Lashley's going to win in the end.
You're looking at the writers not knowing what to do with Sami Zayn, and they don't want to push Bobby Lashley to the top yet, basically.
Nope. And that it's weird that they've separated Sami and KO since they've come over to Raw.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, those two worked so well together, and it makes me wonder why they did that. Maybe because they've just done it so long, they're just like, let's just separate them without really telling anybody, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. They need to make them feud because some of the best indie wrestling I've ever seen is those two going against each other or working as a tag team.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. They were great together in anything they did, especially down in NXT.
And I feel like they did feud a lot in the beginning, but I feel like we haven't seen it in long enough where it's like not quite a rehash anymore.
Yeah, it's hopefully it would be fresh again, but I don't see a path to that happening anytime soon.
Yeah, not right now for sure.
No, I mean KO probably wants to distance himself from Sami right now because he's God.
Get the Sammy stink off of him.
Yeah, honestly, it's been such a mess, such a mess. Yeah, I too, I'm going with Lashley on this one too. I mean, since when have you seen Sami win at a pay-per-view?
Never. What say you, Stevie?
Bobby Lashley's going to win.
All right.
Hands down.
The
He has
only
to.
thing we have differed on so far is the celebration.
Yep,
Yeah.
exactly. And honestly, with Bobby Lashley, I was never a big fan of his, but I've kind of grown to like him in this feud only because Sami Zayn is so ridiculous.
Yeah,
I like it. I liked him better in TNA, which is saying a lot because TNA is terrible.
All right, next match we got Seth Rollins versus Elias for the IC Championship. This is a tough one, man, because I can see two different ways this could go, because I would like to see Seth Rollins get the Universal Championship opportunity at SummerSlam, and the only way to get there would be to take the IC title off of him.
I feel like you and me are like sharing the same brain this evening. I'm just going to say that. Go ahead and finish your thought.
But at the same time, like, can you see him losing to Elias right now, who has honestly lost about 75% of his matches for the past year?
I don't know. Can you?
I don't know. It's tough. Like, he's not. I don't see him as strong enough to beat Seth Rollins right now.
This isn't a very good prediction, Chip.
It's so difficult. Like, this is the toughest pick. I'm not going first. One of you two go first. Stevie, go first.
All right, good. I have a lot to say about this anyways.
Go for it.
Cool.
So I'm kind of torn because Seth Rollins is probably my favorite current roster wrestler. I want him to retain the title, but I also like Elias a whole bunch and would like to see him get that gold. And then, like you said, Rollins takes SummerSlam. But I'm not really sure if it's going to happen for Elias tonight, or not tonight, but on Saturday, on Sunday. But I will say this. Seth Rollins is the only person that's had really good matches on Raw in the past month. Because usually they save the good matches for the pay-per-views.
Right.
And every match that Rollins has done in the past month has been fantastic. So I really don't see him losing right now because he's on a hot streak.
Yeah. It'd be tough for them to put him down because he's the only reason I tune into Raw still. It made me sad he didn't have a match this week. But
honestly, I think the way that they should have done it, if they were, or if they still do intend to make it happen at SummerSlam for him, is they should have had him lose the Intercontinental title for Sunday, and then have him in the Money in the Bank ladder match, and then win Money in the Bank again.
Man, I don't know that he'd ever win Money in the Bank again because he will never top that cash in at WrestleMania 31.
Oh yeah, clearly that's definitely one of the best cash ins.
Yeah, I mean easily
so far.
Easily.
Did anyone make a pick yet? Stevie?
Yeah, Stevie said Seth.
Yep, Seth Rollins. Yep.
All right, SBL, you go. What you got? Long sigh.
I'm gonna go Seth as well.
Ooh, all right. Any reason you're leaning Seth?
The only reason that I would put the title on Elias is for the promos. And if you need to move the belt off of Seth, you could do it any night because he's always doing some sort of challenge basically every Monday. So if there's a SummerSlam plan, it doesn't have to go into effect at Money in the Bank. So I'm taking Seth.
All right. Just to be different than you two, I'm going with Elias here. And
this could be a big money win for you.
It could be. And here's what I'm thinking. All right.
This could win you the title.
It very well could. Well, it depends. We still got a long way to go, man. This is a long ass card. So I think what's going to happen is there's going to be some kind of craziness that happens with a guitar. Rollins is going to end up getting knocked out with a guitar. Ref's not looking, and Elias is going to take the pin or get the pin in that way and get the title in that way. That's going to lead their feud to Extreme Rules, where they're going to have a guitar on a pole match.
Guitar on the pole.
That sounds terrible.
But they do shit like that.
If that's
happening, they do.
I'm selling my tickets.
Yeah.
So Scotty, you're saying that the IC title is going to walk with Elias on Sunday?
Indeed, I am. Yes. The IC title will WWE. Indeed, it will.
There's only 3 words, and it isn't WWE. Walk with Elias. It's burn it down. And that's what's going to happen on Sunday night.
And I won't be disappointed either way. I'll be disappointed in my pick at that point. But
or if they both lose, right?
Yeah, or
you never know.
Whatever, as long as I'm cool with either one of them holding the belt at this point. Because I think they'd both do a good job with it in different ways. Seth would have good matches. Elias would just heal it up. And I mean, if you look at how The Miz held it, Elias and The Miz are similar in that way because they cut good promos.
Fair enough.
All right, next we have the most irrelevant match that no one really cares about, the Bludgeon Brothers versus the Good Brothers. Man, SBL, you go first.
Legends.
Yeah, I don't know that you need an explanation.
I don't.
I too am going bludgeons because the Good Brothers just are there because they size up to them. But there's not a tag team in SmackDown right now that are going to beat the Bludgeons until Sanity comes in and wrecks them, and it's going to be awesome.
I was about to say the tag team division on both shows right now is really, really burned. It's poor. And honestly, when we were just talking about Elias, I think they should partner him up with somebody and get him on the tag team title division run. But that's a long shot. I don't think that's going to happen because of his performing,
Man, you know what they need to do? They need to do what they did with Jeff Jarrett and bring in a roadie for him. That'd be awesome.
That would be cool. Kind of like the way they do Aiden English for Rusev.
Right.
Just have a guy come out and be like, hey, you need to shut up and listen to this guy.
Yeah, exactly. Like, he needs a hype man. Of course, I mean, he's so good on the mic, I wouldn't want anybody else to take his mic time. I mean, honestly, for the first, 6 months, the Road Dogg basically said nothing and would just, show up with Jeff Jarrett and, towel him off and shit. So, it'd still be cool. All right, Stevie, what do you got for this one?
I'm going to go Bludgeon Brothers just because I like Luke Harper a lot.
Same.
I do, too. I just hate this gimmick.
It's bad.
Well, it's better than what was going on, in my opinion.
Which was nothing, really.
I really wanted Luke Harper to go on a single title run. Maybe that'll happen in the next year or two. But I'm happy for him, at least for now, that they get to hold the titles. I mean, the Usos are going to come back, though, eventually, and want redemption.
Yeah, I think from what I've heard, they're kind of putting the Usos to the bottom of the card right now just because they had such a long tag title run. And they're just giving someone else a chance at this point. But the Usos have been buried by the Bludgeon Brothers. There's no way they're going to come back and beat them. So it's going to have to be somebody else at some point for them to come back around, I think.
Yeah, also, what happened with Sheamus and Cesaro? Are they still around?
Yeah, they are.
Are they on break right now? I think it's been probably a month or so since I've seen them.
It has been a while. They did that New Day feud for a couple of weeks, but we haven't seen them on TV since.
Maybe Sheamus' stenosis is acting up.
Could be.
I also heard that he was going to retire soon too, so I wonder if that's
he has to. He has the same injury that that Edge has.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yep.
Well, that's a shame.
It is a shame. He's a good wrestler.
I like them as a tag team. But, I mean, if that happens, I'd still like to see Cesaro get a good push too.
Yeah.
Speaking of lower card stuff, the cruiserweights aren't having a match on this card.
No, which is super disappointing considering they've probably put on the best show in the past month.
I couldn't agree with you more either. Especially now that they got Buddy Murphy on there and you got Cedric Alexander as your champion.
Yeah.
Which is from Charlotte, by the way.
Oh, I know. Represent.
Represent. But yeah, I'm a little disappointed with that. I wish that show was more successful because there's a lot of great talent on there that's not getting the time of day on the main cards.
No.
Yeah.
Not at all. And even if they did the Cedric and Buddy Murphy match in the pre-show, I mean, it's too good. It's too good to just leave them off completely.
I'd rather have a 10-minute match of that than both tag team matches.
Yeah. Or the Lashley Sami Zayn match or the Daniel Bryan Big Cass match. I mean,
I wish the Lashley and Sami Zayn match was like a no DQ match because violence is really the only thing that's going to win that match.
Yeah.
Over with the fans is bloodshed or somebody taking a chair to the dome.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
I bet that match ends up on the pre-show. That or one of the tag matches. I have a feeling.
I think the Raw tag team title is on the kickoff show, if I'm not mistaken.
Is it? Yeah, that sounds about right. Though that'll probably be the more interesting of the tag matches, but
yeah, probably. All right.
Next.
Did we all pick bludgeons?
Yeah, we did.
Okay.
We most certainly did. All right.
Team Luke Harper.
So let's go.
TLH.
Let's go. Deleters of Worlds versus the B Team.
All right, I'll start this one off. Deleter of Worlds.
They're going to retain.
Only because of star power.
Yeah, that's true. They have a lot more going for them.
I almost feel bad for Bo Dallas and was it Kurt Hawkins? Yeah.
Curtis Axel.
I do the
Curtis
same,
Axel.
dude. I swear to God, I do the same thing every week.
I get them mixed up. Yeah, see, so star power is going to win. Also, I'm a little upset with how Bray Wyatt's been treated over the last year, too.
Oh, I used to love Bray Wyatt, and they just totally ruined his career by shitty booking.
33 is like probably one of the best Manias I've seen since 19, and he had one of the worst matches on the card.
Oh, God, that was embarrassingly bad.
So I hope that he gets to keep the tag team titles. It's the least they could do for my man.
Yeah, I too agree with you. I really don't think the Deleters are going to lose this one, especially to the B team. It's just I can't see it happening. They've already lost. B team's already lost to them once, so
yeah, I think they're gonna be deleted.
Yeah, so you're agreeing with
they
us
might.
too?
You know what might happen though, because Bray Wyatt and Bo Dallas are brothers.
Yeah,
and the B team is kind of like a new thing.
Mm-hmm.
I could see them merging and making
the D team,
the deletion team. Yeah, I could see them merging because right now, I mean,
I just realized the B team could be the broken team.
Yeah, exactly.
That's true.
I'd love to see a merge.
Yeah,
that's probably the best move for all of them. And honestly, there's not a lot of factions that have more than like 2 members right now. Like you got the New Day, and they still haven't done anything with the club yet, or Bullet Club, whichever one they call it on WWE. I always get that mixed up too.
It's the club, yeah. It's they kind of allude to it and then pull it back. It's been really weird booking. Like they're together one week, then not together, then they're with AJ for a while, then they're with Finn for a while. It's super weird.
Yeah, they just keep them around.
They need to have a large faction because when you look at like the Corporation back in the day, DX, the Nation of Domination, that was like a major role in making the Attitude Era what it was. And, they really need to do that now.
To just make it interesting again. That's the one thing it's missing right now are factions because everyone's just kind of off on their own.
Mm-hmm.
There's no like other than tag teams, which I mean you're gonna have regardless. You don't have those big like 3-4 man factions going on anymore. And I mean I think this would be a good one. And I know we mentioned this like I think a couple of months ago when the Miz went over to SmackDown. We were talking about how we thought that Axel and Bo Dallas would it would make sense for them to join up with Bray and Matt Hardy, but
yeah, we definitely touched on it. We also touched on the Bullet Club. I feel like these are no-brainers. It gives you ready-made feuds, dueling factions. There were times when everyone in the nation could feud with anyone else from DX and so on and so forth. Anyone in the Hart Foundation could feud with anyone, in Shawn Michaels' clique. And it's just like, now there's just no, it's just poor writing. There's just no, you kind of have to do these insta feuds because they're like, nobody has a storyline that lasts longer than 6 months. Nobody has any residual hatred for one another. I just feel like you're shooting yourself in the foot from a writing perspective. There are not very many compliments I would give Vince Russo, but the one thing I'll give him is that he had something for everyone.
True.
Yeah.
And the feuds just aren't, there's not a lot of bad blood in these feuds either. They're short-lived, and really the only person that puts in a lot of like angry effort in his feuds is The Miz. And like, that you can't hate the guy because of it either. Like that's really like his selling point is the fact that he actually seems to give a damn about whatever, rivalry he's stuck with.
Mm-hmm.
And he does it well. I mean, it sucks that he really doesn't even have one right now either.
Yeah.
I mean, he's basically, they're working the Money in the Bank angle, so all, 4 guys on one show are feuding against each other, and 4 guys on the other show are feuding against each other, but there's not really, like, coming out of that, there's not going to be a clear cut like, oh, these 2 dudes are going to go at it for a while. There's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
They've just fought against each other, and it's like everyone against Braun Strowman on one side, and on the SmackDown side, who even knows? We had two friggin' heels fight against each other tonight. With Rusev and Samoa Joe with Miz as the referee. I mean, it makes no sense. All right. Moving on. AJ Styles versus Shinsuke Nakamura in a last man standing match for the championship.
Champion. See, now we're getting into the main course of this pay-per-view.
We are. And this is going to be a tough one to predict because they bury Shinsuke again?
Yes.
You think they do? All
Absolutely.
Right. Why?
The time to put the title on him was the last pay-per-view. They didn't do it, and now you're so if you basically have anyone on SmackDown win the Money in the Bank other than the New Day, it's a heel. So you need that person to beat AJ, and I think they will.
Okay. All right.
Pretty good prediction.
All right, Stevie,
and then Nakamura will go to Daniel Bryan, and then the winner of Money in the Bank will defeat AJ.
Okay. All right, Stevie, what do you got?
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and say it now that this is going to probably be the best match of the night.
Mm-hmm.
And AJ Styles is going to win. And I definitely agree with SBL here about what he said as far as Nakamura going to Daniel Bryan and AJ's going to eventually lose to the Money in the Bank winner. I'm going SmackDown for Money in the Bank if, that's not obvious.
Oh, Stevie, we may have the same prediction.
I think we probably do. We'll get to that in a second. But we got to give Scotty the Brain a chance here with the...
Let's go, Brain. What do you got?
All right. This is a tough one because this is another place where
didn't sound that tough when I said it.
I know it didn't, but it's tough for me in my brain because I'm playing a lot of different scenarios over in my head right now. This would be a perfect place where there could be a cash-in because you have a last man standing match where both dudes are going to just beat the shit out of each other for a solid 20 minutes. And, I mean, the whole point of this is for, one man to not be able to get up. Well, you're going to get to the point where there's going to be both of them, laid down, not being able to get up. And whoever wins this could end up getting cashed in on right away. They could pull a Kane.
That's a good idea.
So,
So you're anticipating a cash-in on this match?
I am a little bit. I know it won't happen on both of the matches because someone's got to hold the Money in the Bank briefcase for a while because at least that'll give some sort of storyline. But I feel like SmackDown is just rolling along right now. And I don't know if it needs a briefcase for the show to get better. And
speaking of storyline with the briefcase, can we just take a moment and say, what in the hell is going on with Baron Corbin these days?
Well, he's officially bald now.
Yeah, who cares? Moving along.
I just can't believe that he's not in any match, and that's totally okay. I thought he was supposed to get a push. I thought I had heard somewhere.
Yeah, I'd seen that too.
Vince said he wanted him to go to the top.
Apparently, it's a real slow push.
When you're a big tool bag loser, I guess you don't get a push. So there you go.
At least he got a better theme song. At least he got that.
I can't even remember Steve's song. So.
All right. But yeah, I'm sorry for interrupting. I just had to throw that out.
Oh, no. That's what we do.
Talent.
We love interrupting.
Talent.
All right. So for this one, oh, man. I'm going to give it to Shinsuke. Yep. Listen, someone has to differ. Someone has to. And I'm on the fence, so I'm going with what you guys have not gone with because I'm going for the jugular here. I need the win. I've lost 2 in a row, and I need a W here. I need to win the Botchampionship.
I can smell another title win.
I don't know, man. You and Stevie have some of the same picks. This is where it's going to get interesting, though. We're getting to the Women's Money in the Bank match. We've got Lana, Natalya, Alexa, Charlotte, Ember, Becky, Naomi, and Sasha. Whoo! This is going to be a tough one to predict. It's going to be a real tough one. I'll go ahead and go first since you guys have gone the last couple of times. And this is you could go so many directions with this. I feel like this is going to be A Raw cash in? It's going to go Raw. It's going to go
Okay.
Raw. And I think Sasha Banks is going to take it.
Wow.
Yeah. Total swerve. Everyone thinks it's going to end up being like Natalya, or they think it's going to be Alexa. No, I'm going Sasha on this one because I think that could create some sort of storylines with her. She just signed a new contract. It seems like they're starting to push her a little bit again now. They've moved her away from the Bayley feud the last couple of weeks. You haven't seen that happen at all. I think it's going to end up there eventually, but it's going to be a little while. But I think Sasha's going to be the one.
Wow.
Yeah, crazy.
I used to dislike Sasha until I met her. I always felt like she got favored a lot.
Yeah. I think she kind of does. And I think it's going to be the same way on this one. All right. Stevie, what do you got on this one?
Well, I'd really like to see Ember Moon win, but I still think that's not going to happen at this time. It's got to be one of the veterans that wins a lot, similar to, what you were saying about Sasha Banks getting away from the Bayley feud for a little bit. I'm probably going to say Charlotte Flair.
Ooh.
Just because she
Wow.
almost always wins her pay-per-view matches. And this is a big one, and she's, I think it's going to be favoritism, and it's going to be Charlotte. She's going to win her title back eventually.
She'll cash back in on Carmella, who cashed in on her.
Yeah, exactly. I could see that happening.
And that's never
But
happened
honestly,
before.
I would probably be okay with any of the participants in this match winning.
Even Lana?
Oh, yeah.
All
That
right.
would be hilarious. That's the only reason that I would be okay with that, is because I know it would be funny.
I think she's the only one I can't see winning it, because from what I've heard, it's possible that she and Rusev leave the company in the next few months, like when the contract's up. I think they both
that
have
would break my
a
heart.
contract that ends at the same time. It would suck. It would really suck, but everyone's saying like Rusev's unhappy and blah, blah, blah. So, I mean, we'll see what happens there.
He should be. He should be. Honestly, I think he should be a bigger player. When I was in New Orleans and I was on Bourbon Street, people were chanting Rusev Day like all day and night.
I haven't heard it much recently, though. Have you heard it much at the live shows lately?
Nah, but I think that's more of, the way that they do the audience pops and everything on the show.
True.
And not to mention, he's just been in a bunch of B-side matches.
True.
Anyways.
Yeah,
You'll definitely get a huge Rusev chant in the Money in the Bank match. I guarantee it.
Yeah, probably. All right, SBL. We've got two different answers so far. What do you got?
I'm going Natalya.
Ooh. I had a feeling you were going to say that.
Yes, it was very clear, I think.
Yeah.
Because earlier.
Yeah, because earlier.
Yeah. Well, I mean, honestly, I could see that happening too. Like you were saying, Ronda Rousey needs good chemistry right now, because I still feel like she's really nervous and, still really green, and, she messes up a lot, and hopefully she doesn't mess up Nia Jax, because I'd be really pissed off. But, yeah, so that could be like the next chapter for her. I really feel like the women's entire division is building around the success of Ronda Rousey right now.
True. Quite true. All right, we're down to our final prediction. We've got Samoa Joe, KO, Bobby Roode, Braun Strowman, The Miz, Rusev, Finn, and one member of the New Day. We don't know which. SBL, what do you got?
I got The Miz.
You're going Miz.
Yep, it makes the most sense storyline-wise. I think that if you want to work back around to Daniel Bryan getting in the title, it's got to be his road to the belt has to be through The Miz.
It's true. It's absolutely true. All right, Stevie.
Okay, so we actually didn't have the same prediction.
Oh, wow. All right.
Ooh.
However, I spoke with my brother earlier today, and he chose The Miz as well, so that's pretty good guess. Especially at the end of SmackDown tonight, the way that he was promoting with the briefcase and the pancakes and all that.
True.
So with Braun Strowman, you have, obviously he's a fan favorite, but I think after he had that incident at the pay-per-view with Brock, where Brock actually punched him in the head and told him to slow the F down.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty much sealed the deal on his title shot for a while. And at least till, Roman Reigns wins it back.
Then we could start that feud again, and Braun could toss him off of a loading dock again. I'm down with that.
Yeah. I love...
Yeah, perfect. Commit
I
more
love-
crimes.
Now, as far as Finn Balor goes, I love that guy. I could see him in an Intercontinental title run, but not the Universal right now. He doesn't have enough fan power.
No.
The Miz doesn't need to win. Rusev won't win because he's, obviously not having a good run with the writing staff right now, and that's why he's been kind of stuck where he's at. Bobby Roode, I don't really like that guy at all. I like his theme song. That's about it.
You sound like everyone else on that too. We're the same way. That we've been talking about him turning heel for a while because he worked much better as a heel in NXT. The babyface thing doesn't fit him.
Yeah. Kevin Owens, he's a crybaby. That plays well with the crowd, but he's already had the Universal title. They're going to want someone new to get a title here. New Day member is total filler. Hopefully it's Kofi Kingston. At least he'll know how to work his way around the match.
Yeah.
Which brings me to my prediction of Samoa Joe.
You're going Joe.
I'm going Joe. And you know what? I never in a million years thought that I would cheer for Samoa Joe. But I've really changed my opinion on that guy in the past couple of weeks. And him and AJ sounds like a really good time.
Yep.
So
It does.
that's why I picked him.
He's a great wrestler.
I picked him for the future.
Whew. Man. You guys gave me a lot to think about.
Mm-hmm.
And I was going to go Miz as well, but I'm starting to rethink a little bit now because the Miz and Daniel Bryan's a built-in feud, whether there's a title or not. I feel like they're going to get there. And I mean, if there's a title involved, great, but I don't know that they're going to put the title on Daniel Bryan and they want to move forward with that yet. That may end up being the SummerSlam match, Miz
The
and
universe,
Daniel Bryan.
WWE Universe deserves that feud too.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think it's going to happen. I don't think it needs a title because it's got enough heat already. With New Day, like you said, filler. I mean, there's been talks of Big E getting a singles push. I don't know if it would start now because they really haven't started separating the three of them at all. There hasn't been any, singles matches where it's like, oh, well, Big E's going to break away from the pack. So I don't think that that'll happen. But I do think Big E will be the one in the match. I think Kofi's had 6 shots at Money in the Bank at this point, and everyone knows he's not going to win. So at least if they put Big E in there, there's a little bit of a chance that people might say, oh, well, he might have a shot. You never know. You get that little bit of a warm fuzzy. But Braun Strowman doesn't need it. I mean, that dude, if he got a title shot, they've already built him up so much that he doesn't need a cheap cash in to get a win. I honestly think that it's going to be Finn Balor.
Wow.
And I think he's going to hold that briefcase for a little while, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
If he does. And I know it kind of goes against what I was talking about earlier with the AJ match, but I think that SmackDown is strong enough now that it doesn't need a Money in the Bank briefcase to make it even more exciting. Like Raw needs something like that.
This might be kind of weird to say, but now that you mention it, I think Finn would look pretty good with a briefcase.
Yeah, he needs something. He's great. He's a great worker. He always puts on great matches. I mean, they build him up a little bit against Braun. Yeah, he got his ass beat against Braun, but he still held his own, and it was a really good match between the two of them. So it makes it believable that he could, cash in on someone like Lesnar if Lesnar's in a dire situation.
Mm-hmm.
And it could be like a kind of or they could go the route of Dave and Goliath, with him and Lesnar, especially considering that he never lost the title in the first place.
Exactly. And they've brought that up multiple times in the last couple of weeks as well. Even he and KO kind of talked on Raw, like how neither one of them actually lost their title, quote unquote. Finn was injured. So I think they're going to give it to Finn.
Okay.
So,
Well, damn.
Yeah.
A bold prediction.
I know it is. I got to go bold, man. I got to go bold.
So at least we have different picks in the Money in the Bank matches.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's 3 of us, so in singles matches and stuff, you're really only looking at 2 choices out of 3 people. You're gonna see a lot of double picks, but
yeah, it's weird. I mean, you see Money in the Bank now as one of their big pay-per-views. They call it one of like the big 5, I guess, now that they have, and it'll be interesting to get through the entire pay-per-view without there being some sort of title change because it's one of the bigger pay-per-views.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of why I went with like the Elias pick and also went with the Shinsuke pick because I think there's going to be a title change. Now, how long they hold it will yet to be seen, but I mean that's why there has to be at least a title change or 2 on there. So
that would be great too, because especially after coming off of Backlash and Greatest Royal Rumble before that, those are really lame pay-per-views.
It was just garbage. There's no title changes. It was just all of it was super predictable when it came down to it. So, all right, fellas, well, we've got our picks locked in, and Money in the Bank is coming up this Sunday. So we will see at the end who wins the Botchampionship or who retains the Botchampionship. I need to say that because SBL will be pissed at me if I don't.
Fair enough. Yes, he will. Can't wait to enter my Norma Jean intro next week.
Yeah, whatever. As always, guys, please check us out. We are on Twitter at Botchcast. You can check out the website at wrestlingbotchcast.com. You can find us on Facebook.com/Botchcast and on Instagram at wrestlingbotchcast. Stevie, absolute pleasure. It was awesome you joining us for this one. Hopefully we can definitely do it again.
Oh yeah, definitely, man. I was so excited to get to talk with other people about wrestling, and thank you so much for having me.
Dude, anytime, man. Anytime. SBL, you're going down, brother.
Oh, we'll see, brother. I'll see you next week when I raise my title high and spit on your dirty corpses.
We'll see.
All right, guys, that's it. Thanks for listening, everybody, and we will catch you. Actually, we'll have a new episode that's coming out this Friday. That'll recap our Raw, SmackDown 205, NXT, and we'll have some indie talk this week as well because Dominion happened this past weekend, and we got some things to say about that. So thanks for listening. We'll catch you guys on Friday.
Woo!